Okay, so I have done the Twitter in friend invite, and so I want to give you this video to show you what I have done and what you need to do in the configuration and also about the DB. And okay, so generally, let's go to the web page first, and uh, I just used the first initial files you sent me, and I didn't use the second edition you sent me, but I just compare a little. It's nearly the same, and anyway, I already cleaned up most of the JS code in the files, and we will uh, deep into the code later. And first, let's go to test it. And this is our connect page, and this is send invite, and click it, and it will loading data uh, from the Twitter because I already authenticated in my web page, so it don't redirect me to the Twitter login. Uh, but for your initial use, you should to do that, but that is okay. And you can see that there are some also the Facebook is just what you have currently, and I didn't change anything on that. And so let's direct go to the Twitter, and when we click the Twitter radio button, it will show the Twitter value followers. And right now for this user, and this is myself, and I have 3 followers. And because just you maybe know that the Twitter rate limit is 350 per hour. That means you cannot call their API too frequently. So for a user, and if a user has many followers, it maybe need many calls. Just as I said you before, that one API call can return max 5,000 followers, but the followers only contain the IDs. So we also need to get the screen name and the um, avatar URL. So we need to call another uh, API that is only up max to 100 users at one call. So for example, so if you have 5,000 followers, we should call the API one time to get the follower IDs, and then 50 times to get all of the screen names. So that means we need to call the um, API 51 times. So that is for the for users who have has 5,000 followers. So just as we talked about before, we need to store the data in our database. And so for the second time, this user send the invite again, we will get the followers from the DB directly. So this is what the DB I have. And there are 3 tables. One is the Twitter user. This is called who the current authenticated user, and the followers for the authenticated user, and this also send invites. Okay, so just for our uh, test, and we can check our DB right now and to see if we have Twitter user in our site. Okay, you can see that this is the user ID, the user name, this is myself, and the daytime login time, and also the followers for myself for me, and this is the 3 followers I have, and the follower name and the avatar URL. Okay, so the second time we will get data and don't call the Twitter API. And right now, and after that, we can choose one to send the message. Okay, and we click the send invitations. Okay, it shows us that it's success, and I can check it. This is my another login user, and I can check my messages to check if uh, the voice over 1983 sent me you can see that just 23 seconds ago it said hello, come to my site. This is configurable. This message can be configured, of course. Okay, so I think the basic functions is already okay, and also the DB function is also okay, and and I also record the send device. You can check that. You can see that this is a sender, this is me, and this is my another test account, and this is a send daytime. Okay, so most of all of the functions are already okay, and let's go back to the details of the code. And just as I check your code at the firstly, that is to be frank, a little boring. There are many code that is not related to the functions. I guess you just copied the data from the codes from the TicketLeap website. So, and inviter, and I add some folders. This is the Twitter OAuth for the Twitter authentication, and this is the DB function for the DB process function, and this is the callback to be used for the Twitter authentication callback, and this is the main page, and okay, this is not related, and the email is yours, and the Facebook login is yours, and the get followers is just the main functions, and this is gets to uh, at first it will check the DB if this user already authenticated user already exists in our DB, and if yes, we will get the followers from DB directly. If no, you can see that I added some comments on it. If this is new, we will get data from Twitter and also add the data into database. And so this is the get the follower ID, and with the cursor, if um, if the next cursor is not 0, we will get the next follower IDs with the cursor again and again, and also the all will store all of the followers, and then because just as I said, the user lookup is to query the screen name and the avatar URL, but that is max to 100 one time. So we use the loop, but with only get the at one time we call that with 100 IDs to call to get the users, and then all users will contain all of the followers, including their IDs, screen names, and the avatars. So after that, we will also insert the data into the followers table, and render the uh, data to browser, and this is the main code, and the for the connect, because connect is most of the code is just yours, and I didn't change too much, but just some, for example, in your before code, you just to check if the friend, because the Twitter is because this friend is also include the Twitter, check it Twitter. So if you for the Twitter user, you will send it to the Facebook. That is not correct. So I use another tag TW friend to um, identify the Twitter friends, check it, and then we'll send the message, new direct message to tweet, and and you can see that this is the text I just sent. You can change it, and then add the sent invite into database. Okay, so this is and um, so and in the invite, I added some codes to the for the Twitter, and just a little. For example, this is the get followers. This is just the new file, just as I said, to get the followers, the main functions for the Twitter. And okay, so the code just I think this is much better and clear now. And the most I clean up is in the JS code. In your before in the previous JS code you have, let's keep let's check the old JS file you give me, and I have the backup, and this is the core. You can see there are more than 10,000 lines of code, but most of the code are not related to our functions. You just copied all of the code from that site, but what this is not the important. This is not the most important. The most important is this site, this core just include many third-party plugins such as the Sizzle.js and also the jQuery core library, and it is crazy to integrate all of the third-party plugins into one file and without any um, comment on it. You can read that. You know what I'm saying? So this is not. This is really so boring, and so I celebrate it and use the and send and save them into a separate files, and um, you can see that for our JS folder, and this is the jQuery files, and for example the jQuery core library, and the keyboard, and the Johnson fancy box effects, and the mouse wheel, and the three dots, and all of these at your previous file core in JS file, it includes all of the files together. But for the third party, we just need to reference to it, not included in our own file. Okay, so for the connect, I just cleared up the code, and you can see that we just add some reference. Um, some reference to this, you can see that this is all the jQuery, and for our own code, you can see that it is only right now it is less than 800 lines of code. This is just for our own code. This is the correct way to do project, not as the old one. Okay, so this is really taking me much time to clean up your JS code. Anyway, most of the functions already okay, and for the FB dialog, I haven't checked it then, but I will start to do it tomorrow. But for now, for our project, and I think, to be frank, I think it is already done. So, could you do the milestone on freelance.com? Thank you.